Hey everyone, today I'm going to be chatting with Brian Deneve, who is backing vocalist, bass player from Autumn to Ashes, or should I say guitar player? Sorry, I'm not with it really this morning. Yeah, from Autumn to Ashes. So anyone who was a huge hardcore, emo, screamo, whatever fan in the 2000s will definitely remember the band, and particularly their really, really popular album, The Fiction We Live. So I wanted to get Brian to come on so we could have a bit of a reminisce and a bit of a laugh about the old days. And what we used to get up to and that kind of thing, and how that particular album and some of those particular songs have still remained incredibly important to a lot of people. Hello, Jessie. Jessie is Brian's wife, and she's just logged on. She's amazing. I'll just get Brian. Hey.
What's up?
You in a dark dungeon?
I'm like in like we're actually on a bit of a holiday right now, and
Oh wow.
we're like out like in the woods.
Oh, cool. You'll have to make Jessie come by and wave, please.
Jesse, you have to come by and wave at some point. She's coming over.
Okay, yay. Hi, babe.
Hi. We're kind of
So
like a
good.
weird.
It's so good. Anyway, had to have a little test up there.
Fair enough.
um, yeah, because I remember being totally surprised, like not mega surprised, but like when I found out who Jesse's partner was, and then realized who you that you were from Autumn to Ashes. I was like, amazing! Because I remember I posted something, and then Jesse was like, oh blah blah memories, and I was like, what? And then it all clicked, and I was like, oh my god, so funny. Um, it's so awesome to have you on because this is totally just a fun chat.
This is some old people chatting, right?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I was just saying like the album, like The Fiction We Live, was so insanely popular in Australia, like next level, like popular. And everybody was like always like on and on singing, Autumn Monologue and
Yeah,
Fiction We Live, like those two songs. Like I kind of they defined that period where people started getting like a female to come in, and you know what I mean.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
and then after that, like a lot of bands started getting a female to come in and do like a piece.
yeah.
Um,
It's funny. But I think it was that record. uh, it was touring that record that we first went to Australia,
yeah,
uh, and I remember it was great. It was such a fun tour, and it was us, and then we took out this new band at the time called I Killed the
yeah.
Prom Queen, who became a very big band.
And
Uh,
who also then followed on and did the girl song thing.
yeah, yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, so, but yeah, that was a fun record to tour on
yeah, I bet. Because
for
it was
sure.
just is that for you? Does that album mean as much as the others, or more than the others?
I think so. Okay, so I think that album for me, it means a lot to me in the sense that uh, it was the most sort of successful album we had. And I don't, not that that matters, but it allowed us to do all the things that we ever wanted to do.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? So like, it's musically not my favorite album at all.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, it must have been at the time, I guess.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but looking back,
when you
it's
look
not
back, it's kind of, you can see all the flaws or whatever things you would have done
right,
different.
right. To me, it's a little boring now, but that's because there are several other things afterwards that I like more.
Yeah,
But I have and I think we probably all, at least everybody in the band, has a certain fondness for that record. For no other reason than, like I said, it allowed us to do a bunch of stuff that we never thought we'd
yeah,
ever be able to do, and it was, it was sort of a turning point for our band, in that same way. So we
yeah,
have a lot of good memories of that time,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I just remember, like, I mean, car rides and going to like hardcore festivals and people people
Right.
singing along and like in the car and whatnot. Um, and yeah, just like how, I don't know why, but why the track, like those two particular tracks, like why they were so poignant and why so many people um loved them and resonated with them so much. And like, and I mean, I think especially, Auto Monologue, like I think it was like, whoa, no one, I don't really think anyone had done it yet, had like that kind of female point of view type piece in there, and then a reply, kind of thing.
Right. Well, I mean, I think probably the female point of view was the most different thing about it.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily remember. I mean, I remember doing the song, and I remember us writing the song and recording the song and everything. I don't think it was like a conscious thing. Like, okay, so God,
thing.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a female point of view here.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
fact, the response to it came way later. That was
yeah.
like the last thing we did for the record was that. I think the record was like done by the time we did that, because
Yeah,
we were okay. It does sort of like leave something hanging, and
yeah,
but I mean, I just think we were always very interested in having, like, at least musically, varying styles and things going on within 10 minutes, or 5 minutes. And that was about as big of a departure as we could get. So,
yeah, yeah. And I
you know,
mean, the response was really good. Like, I mean, you just mentioned Prom Queen. Prom
mhm,
Queen did do a song with a female,
right.
and it was annihilated, and they had to re-record it with a male.
Really?
It did not go down at all. Yeah,
Really?
people hated
Is
it.
it?
Yeah, and
Okay.
so when they redid another record, they released a new version of that same song, but with a male singing.
And that went over okay?
Yeah, that was fine. I think it was just a bad time. I don't know. I don't know what it was about.
Was was the singer not a good singer? Or like, was it
No,
like,
she was fine. She was fine. And from my understanding, they were quite upset that people were not liking it and
right,
were complaining it, on trolling everywhere and
right.
complaining about it. But in the end, they gave in and they did a version with the male, which I think they should have not done. They should have just
Right.
been like, nah, sorry, this is what it is. If you
Well,
don't think that's tough enough,
was that
then
was it just not like, I mean, because they were a pretty heavy band from what I
I
remember.
think it was a male thing. A lot of their fans were males, and it was like at that time here in Australia, hardcore and everything was very male dominated,
Right.
and it wasn't very yeah, it wasn't very accepting of females at the time. So I think Australia, that the scene here wasn't ready for it, but for some reason, over overseas bands were able to do it fine, and people loved it, but
Right.
here, yeah, when someone tried to do that here, it wasn't received well.
That's funny because I, looking back, we always realized that most of the most of the people that would come to see us were female. Maybe not
Yeah,
most, but a much larger proportion of the audience would be female.
yeah, because you
You
got them with that last song, man.
yeah, I guess I don't
It
know.
just like it tugged on everyone's heartstrings. So all the girls were like, Oh, these soft,
Yeah,
lovely boys.
these guys are so sensitive.
Yeah,
Uh, uh, but really, it was that there were always sort of an equal amount of girls at the shows.
yeah.
Um, I don't know why, that's funny. And I seem to remember it was that way in Australia also. Like there
Yeah,
were,
yeah.
I remember
A
there ever being
lot of a lot of
by
females
hardcore.
love. Yeah, yeah.
I,
You guys, it's just the sensitive, like you're ahead of your time, mate.
I guess
You were like sensitive new age guys in
just too sensitive for our own good.
um but yeah, like then of course you had you had your next album after that, which was Too Bad You're Beautiful, which was, or was that one before? I always get confused. That was the
Yeah,
first, then Fiction
what
We
was the
Live.
first?
Yeah, and then Bandage Your Friends, and
Right,
then
Your
Holding a
Friends
Wolf. Yeah,
was
yeah.
a low
And
point.
then what was that? Holding Your
That was
Friends?
a low point. I felt like,
In what way? Like musically, or
but yeah,
just
sort of always,
because
always.
then there was like, because then you guys broke up after that as
Yeah.
well.
And then we did another record, which is my favorite record. So
Yeah.
the record, Holding a Wolf, uh,
Yes.
was, I think, the best record.
Yeah.
And I think that was the album that the band should have always sounded like.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I had my way, that would be how they
That was
always,
the whole. Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, it doesn't, time doesn't work like that. So
Yeah.
whatever. But that was the one. So if like Abandon Your Friends was kind of just a really low point for everybody, interpersonally,
Yeah.
musically. It just things weren't. That was at the point we were starting to realize our sort of mortality as a band. Like it
Yeah. It
just
was.
as good as they were 2 years before, and we still had to do this record, and
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
away and doing all this and that, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah. And it starts getting harder. Yeah, as people are trying to
right,
live and move
right.
um on with their lives and
Yeah,
stuff. It always makes it I guess kind of hard, and then trying to bring it back. But even like I'm putting on like The Fiction We Live, like I listened to it the other day. It's like, and straight off the bat, like straight off the bat, like it was like, holy shit! I've just gone like, I thought, I hadn't really forgotten it, but like straight away the after dinner playback comes in, and I was like, yeah, like I was right back into it again.
is
Like,
that the first song on the
yeah,
album? I think it
yeah,
is.
yeah. And I was like, damn, yeah, yeah. And I was like, it was just like a big nostalgia trip. And I was like, oh my God, amazing. Um, yeah, and it's like there's so many good tracks on it. I kind of like, it's different music, but I kind of liken it to how much I love that Grade record. I can't remember what the
Oh,
grade.
was it Under the Radar?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was right.
That album is just so good, and
That
that's how I feel about Fiction We Live. It's like you listen to it again, and then you're like, oh yeah, and you get excited about the tracks. And that's exactly
Yeah,
the same with Grade. I forget about them, put it on, and then I'm like, damn, every song has got like is a banger, like
right,
good
right. Yeah, it's
lyrics.
like it never went anywhere. It's just like this like snapshot in time.
Yeah, yeah.
With,
And then you
uh,
think back. Like I think whenever I listen to anything from back from the hardcore days and stuff, it's like going back to summer for some reason.
sure.
Usually, like it's like
Yeah.
this summer vibe. Like, because I guess that's when we usually had all of our tours, people
Right, right,
coming
right.
over, and
Yeah, because
so
everybody from here, it was winter here, so
yeah. So it was always when everyone would come and it was summer,
right.
or spring. So it was always like, yeah, really just, but yeah, such a nostalgia trip. Like,
Right.
I mean, the amount of girls and men I know that like sang along to those two songs and can probably do it word for word, like do a big karaoke like world session on Zoom or something.
That would
Like,
be. We
like
we used to always whenever we would play some of those songs like live back then, we always used to sort of try to count how many dudes we could see crying in the audience, and there were a lot.
Really?
Yeah, at
Amazing.
one point it was like a thing to cry at the show, and we were like, "This is whack,
Wow.
guys! Stop crying! Like, don't do that! Don't do that!"
It's okay to cry.
It's okay to cry, exactly, Jesse. You know, let it out, let it out. See, you were a trailblazer.
Yeah, but it's not okay to cry because that's the thing to do.
No,
it's okay
no.
to cry if something's really, making you cry. But just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the dude next to you is crying, and you have to cry.
But maybe it was like when someone vomits, then you see it and then you vomit.
Like when you're on the bus and somebody vomits,
Yeah.
and now everybody is vomiting.
Yeah, maybe that's what it
Okay.
is. Maybe
You know
someone
what?
starts
Then
crying and it's infectious.
if that's the case, then I will stand by that. Then I back that. It's
because it's
crying,
like
vomiting, whatever.
it's very difficult, like and pretty like weird to cry at a show in front of other people. Like that takes a lot of like, I mean, that means they're getting into the music so much that they're, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
just
But,
to
like,
start crying.
Yeah, it's something when you're crying because you're at the Backstreet Boys concert, you just can't handle it. Right? Your hormones are so like,
And you're so excited that you're like,
like,
ah, yeah.
you're just crying. However, there's not a single person in From Autumn to Ashes was good looking enough to elicit that kind of hormonal activity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the
But I
crying,
mean,
I would have preferred vomiting.
But I mean, I guess that means that they really resonated with the lyrics and the music.
Yes.
So it's kind of a good thing,
And I'm joking
like
right now, obviously.
yeah. But like, I mean, I have a cry at every time I've seen them. Every time I have a cry, I can't help myself when I see Thursday play and they play Falling Bombs. Every single time, no matter what. And it's just Tucker on stage, like sitting there doing nothing on the drums, watching people get emotion, and Jeff and everyone, and like everyone's just like like big cry eyes, and some people full crying. It's just like it's
Thursday
just
can do that though.
Yeah.
Thursday is capable of doing that. You know what I mean? I think so anyway. Jesse and I a couple of years ago, it was like one of the most recent Thursday comeback shows or whatever.
Shows, yeah.
And Jesse and I went to the show, and I hadn't seen them probably, I don't know, years or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, it's like it's Thursday right in front of me, like and obviously like those guys are like great friends of mine. I spent the last 10 years with Tucker day in, day out, pretty much.
Yeah.
And and I was like, oh, but like you said earlier about being nostalgic and stuff, it puts you into a time and place that you don't normally go to on your own.
Yeah, 100%. And even Tucker said when he was touring with Frankie Aero that they had Jeff open for them once. And he said like, he finally got to see it from the other way rather than from Jeff's ass. And he like went and watched it like a fan, and he said he was like he was very emotional. Like he saw what people, especially when he got into it, like Falling Bombs came on, and he was like, holy shit, now I get why everyone's like falling apart when it comes on. Like it was the first time he'd ever actually watched from the other side.
Of course, yeah. I mean, no, that's awesome though.
Yeah, so he was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally nuts. And then I was gonna say, then that you had I guess you did the live album in 2008.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
And then you guys took that was the breakup.
Yeah.
And then was about 2014 that you kind of sort of come back together.
So, yeah, 2014, right. So I was still playing with Tucker with the boy band, with the Wanted.
The
And,
boy band.
yeah, with the boy band. And then we got sort of out of the blue an offer to play this festival in Montreal. And we were like, yeah, why not? It's been however many years since we
Years, yeah.
liked each other or whatever. So like, let's chat. And you know, we decided like, okay, you know, like this might be the time to do it. So we did, and we played a few shows around that and everything, and it was fun. It was a good time. And then we kind of, oh no, what happened? Oh, then we played a couple of like local shows, and
Yeah.
that was cool. But then we were like, okay, that's that, you know, like that's cool. And
Yeah.
then recently, we started just sort of playing together, and like we started even like writing a few songs, just for the sake of doing it, not for any real reason.
Yeah.
And then we someone asked us if we would play a show in Brooklyn or something. That this is supposed to be in June, and we were like, yeah, why not? And so we did it, and out of nowhere the thing sold out overnight, or like
Yeah.
2 hours or something like that. And we're like, okay, that's weird. That never happened to us before, ever.
Yeah.
And then so we added another show and added another show, and blah 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 blah. And then obviously everybody, you know, the COVID
Yeah.
thing happened. So those shows are now happening next May.
Yeah.
And nothing's happening now, but you know,
But I guess
still cool.
that's I guess that's the power of nostalgia.
Nostalgia, exactly.
Because all those shows, like when people come back and do like they sell out. Like I was saying, I think I was talking to Tucker about, you know, when American Nightmare did their reunion,
Mm-hmm.
and it just sold out in like friggin' half an hour or something.
Sure.
And then they were like, oh shit. And then they started adding more shows, and it was supposed to be like never again.
Yeah.
And then now they've done a billion of them, you know,
Yeah.
because it
Well,
just like,
it's when you realize that it's not just the people in the band who care, that there are other people who care, and
yeah,
that really does make a difference. Like, we were so blown away by the amount of people and the speed with which they bought tickets to these shows that were 6 months out. We were
yeah,
like, oh, that's weird. Like, that's not supposed to happen to us now.
yeah, yeah. We're old guys, yeah.
We're old, and no one wants to see us break a hip on stage, you know. But you know, then you start, you know, people start emailing or messaging the social media stuff and saying, you know, oh, you know, this helped me through this, or this helped me through this, or, you know, some people will write these emails and things, you know, like you know, I used to go to your shows all the time, and then, you know, I grew up and I got a job and I had a kid, but my kid died, you know, and it was
Oh
your
God,
record,
yeah.
you know,
That helped
like
you
literally
through, yeah,
real stuff that people write, and you're like, I just thought we were, you know, kind of
just
doing this
fucking
as a joke.
around, having fun, yeah.
Right. But then you realize that there is a significant impact that sometimes these things have on people. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but it does.
yeah.
And
I mean, and
that's
that must be an awesome sense of like validation too. Like just the thinking that like this is something I created, but it over time, people are still holding on to it, and it still means so much to people,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And it is an awesome sense of validation for sure. But I think there with that becomes an awesome sense of responsibility.
Mm.
You know, you like, you have to own the thing.
Yeah,
And if you're like, okay, well, screw you, you know, then
yeah,
that's like, you know, it's one thing if you just don't want to do it and you're just like, it was what it was. But if you do want to do it, then you have to sort of think of all the reasons why you should.
why?
Not
Yeah,
fun to go do it. That's a great reason. But there are
yeah,
these things that sort of fall in line behind that, that I think are important. And so,
Yeah, I mean, because you have quite there's there are obviously bands that come back together, and it's very obvious that it's just for money.
Yeah, yeah,
And and they're not really hyped to be there, or they don't like each other, they don't, and it's kind of a bummer when that happens because you want to remember them the way they were, and
yes,
then so then it's a bummer when you see them and they're kind of like not vibing each other, and they're just like it's like they're turning up to just to do a shift or something.
yeah.
So,
Well,
you
you
know,
can tell that somebody's doing something just for the money.
oh yeah, 100%. Like, because it just there's just no passion in it when you watch. It's like, man, just going through the paces.
Yeah, and just
Yeah,
looking, counting the songs till the end of the set.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Which is why, yeah, it's good that like you guys actually had like we're able to like come together and go, yeah, you know what, this is a good thing. Like we'll do this, for the right reasons,
right,
rather than, oh yeah, we need a bit of savings. You
right,
know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, and it's got to be for the right reasons and at the right time.
Mm.
It can't just
And
be
I
because
feel like this past year and this past year and all this COVID stuff has really gone nuts with nostalgia. Like
yeah,
everyone in COVID is listening to like going back to their like nostalgic years, like to get through it. Like you
that's an
know,
interesting, but that's an interesting concept. Like,
mm,
what is it about sort of your younger years that helps you get get through things that are happening now?
yeah.
You know,
I feel like maybe it's because like people were having a hard time then,
hmm
and they made it through it, and music was what kept them going, and so they're turning to the back to these like mechanisms that they used at the time that really
yep,
helped them. You know what I mean?
right,
Like
right, and I think
so, you know,
yeah, I mean, I think there might also be a sense of, well, I got through that the first time.
yeah, yeah,
I can do that again now.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
I
I
got through being 16 to 18, and that was terrible. So maybe I can get through this now.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Or um, yeah, it's just like one of those things where you just go back, like everyone's been like listening to stuff like way old back in the day.
Yeah.
What have you been listening to that you've been revisiting in COVID?
Um, from that era, you know what?
Well,
I,
any era
okay, well,
any era nostalgically, it's fine.
any era nostalgically, I would say that I'll often listen to things like, I don't usually go on like sort of where I'll just listen to something over and over and over again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Nothing old. But like I'll put on like a Saves the Day record or something like that,
yeah.
which again is that very, very specific time and place. Um,
Hmm.
uh, or if I listen to like VOD or any of the old like Long Island hardcore bands.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's one of those things where there's no mistaking where it puts you in space and time.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and it could be anything. I mean, even Glassjaw, from that
I was
scene.
just about to say, um, Glassjaw, I'm trying to remember the name of the album. The amazing, really, really angry one. Everything you ever wanted to
Everything
know
you ever
about
wanted to know
silence.
about silence.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I remember listening to that when it came out and being like, when I was such an angry little shit. You know what I mean? And like, it was perfect, and you were like, and getting over exes or idiot, dickhead boyfriends or
yeah,
whatever. And I think so many people use that album for that outlet, like,
100%.
and
It's
it
all the
was
things
like,
you wanted to say to somebody
yeah, but you
that
didn't.
that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
weren't
Or you
quick enough,
couldn't.
clever enough to do on your own.
Yeah. So you just turn up really loud and you scream along with
Yeah,
Daryl.
and you just imagine that you're the one saying it.
Yeah. And the thing I love the most too is Daryl is tiny.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
just like so fierce. I'm like,
yeah.
holy shit, that album
No
is
longer a
angry.
very angry man.
No,
So
he's not. No, but like probably because he put it all out on that album.
it's all on
Like
that album. Yeah, exactly.
that album was so angry and like,
Yeah,
but everyone loved it. Everyone
yes,
loved it because it was like this is something that everyone's at one point in their life has wanted to do or say
yeah, of
and not
course.
been able to, and that gave them like a third party way of doing it, you know.
Uh-huh. And
So you
it
can
was
have it.
musically sophisticated,
Mm,
uh, you know, uh, lyrically, while being sort of really angry, really misogynistic, really sort of, terrible in so many ways, but really smart and
oh,
well
so smartly
together
written.
and
I
sort of,
mean,
yeah, well spoken even in a way, um,
yeah. And I mean, you
you
don't
know,
even pick up like, for example, like at the time because you kind of you're putting it into your own perspective. So at the time, you didn't even pick up like as a female, I didn't even see those things as being misogynistic. I saw,
no, no,
it was just like turning the table to make it again
yeah,
about a man. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah,
like he was just the way he wrote it was so clever that
yes,
it was like, it wasn't like,
yeah.
oh, you're just this stupid bitch, blah blah blah. Like there was a very
No,
clever
that's the
way
thing.
about
It's
it.
not like that.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's ferocious in a way,
Mm.
but like you said, it's clever and
Bloody
it's
cutting. Like if it was
yeah,
about you,
exactly, exactly,
I
yeah,
would not want to be one of the people who those songs are about.
right, 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 right. Definitely not. I don't. Yeah, and yeah, no, you don't want to be one of those people.
No, that would be brutal, I think.
Yeah,
That would like, when someone of all the people, of all the songs you could have written about you, if one of them was about you, and just be like, whoa,
yeah, no, that's not
that
what
would
I
be
want.
tough.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be really
I'm,
hard.
I'm
But
fairly certain that I'm not one of those people that any song on that album
yeah,
is about. So at least I've got that going for me.
yes, definitely. Yeah, but yeah, it is. It's like going back to, yeah, like that. And then um, like I love Suicide File.
Mm,
I'll go back to that a lot.
that's
And,
yeah, 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 yeah.
like, and like, it's just like, Something's Fall Apart. What a brilliant album that was.
Right.
And it still stands up, like, when you play it. Like, it doesn't sound old. Like, it's, you know,
And that's a
um,
big part of it. Yeah. Is
so
it
you
can't
kind of
sound.
like, oh,
Yeah. You know what record real I mean it's another classic, but like 4 Minute Mile, like from the Get Up Kids, like
yeah,
still automatically is just right there and it sounds brand new to me, even though I
yeah,
know
yeah,
every second of it.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It's the
and
same
that's
as same as Poison the Well, Opposite of December.
yeah, that's another one.
I can still put it on and be like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
pumped.
That record was a game changer for sure. That record changed uh, the style of sort of newish
So
hardcore.
fast.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
saying that to Chris. I was like, dude, it was so fast. And he's like, oh, I know. Like, now I look at it and kind of think, how the fuck was I going so fast? I was like, because you were like young.
because
And
you were
like,
17. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. And like, and then their last album was, you know, an album he's more proud of because, it's musically a lot smoother and, all this technicality. But,
Mhm.
it's nowhere near as fast in that level. But yeah, it's like, but everyone remembers that first one because it was so like, what the fuck? How is this so fast? And like everyone, just it was really
That
confronting and
yeah,
hadn't heard anything
that
yet,
record
you know?
did change a lot. Like all of a sudden, you know, or
Yeah,
at least like
yeah,
that
yeah.
record. So
Sorry, got a little bit buffer. Oh, you just had a little bit of a buffer there. You're
oh,
good.
sorry,
Yeah,
I
you're
just lost you for a
good.
second.
Yeah, you did a little buffer. And you're like,
Okay. Sorry.
Wasn't a really bad face, so you're all right. But yeah, like when, I mean, God, like how old were you when you started? Like when you started from Autumn to Ashes, when you were first got together?
We started from Autumn to Ashes. The demo came out in 2000, and then we did the first record in like May, I think, of 2001, and then that was it from there. So I was like 20, 21.
Oh yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I turned 21 when we first started touring. So
It's so amazing thinking about everyone being so young.
I mean, like Fran from Autumn to Ashes was like, I think he was 17 or something when we started touring.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah. But now everybody's old.
Yeah.
You know.
All in the old age. But yeah, like it's still yeah, like it's still such a thing. And then like you're saying, you know, you've got your reunion like type shows coming up that have all just like went bang, sold out.
Yeah.
Like so it's like, oh, so are you gonna have like I guess anniversary type merch and shit like that available, or like how are you gonna do it?
I don't know. You know what's funny is we hadn't even started talking about merch yet when when the shows got canceled or
Yeah,
got
yeah.
postponed. So I'm not even sure. I'm sure we're gonna do something. We'd like to do something really cool. I mean, I'd like to do things like get some friends involved in the shows. Like it would be fun to have like Jeff Rickley come and do something with
Yeah,
us, or
yeah.
all the old guys that are
Hey,
still around.
maybe Jeff can come and play. He can do Autumn's monologue.
Maybe anything's possible. Uh, you know, um, so there's all kinds of those kinds of things that at least now we have a year to think about and to plan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, and then you've also got like options like reissuing specific, albums or whatever, and that kind of
Yeah,
thing as well. Like
there's a lot of people want stuff on vinyl.
that's what I was
Um,
gonna say. Like, yeah,
yes, I mean some of it is on vinyl, but the thing is that a lot of them are on just they've been licensed over the years to different record labels and things just because of the label that it first came out on maybe got sold to somebody else or whatever, and now it's hard to get these things done on vinyl. Like The Fiction We Live is available on vinyl, but I think that might be the only one. um,
yeah,
I'm not sure, but it's certainly something we've been thinking about because I know that people want that. um,
yeah, and like you can always do one of those. People love an anniversary shirt,
yes.
with like blah blah anniversary tour kind of things as well. So it's kind of,
Yeah, I mean,
but
I we'll do. Sorry. Oh, I
you're there.
lost you again. Okay, good. So like, yeah, no, I mean, we're gonna do as much as we can, to sort of commemorate these things because we don't know when the next time we're gonna do it will
Yeah,
be.
it is. Yeah, yeah.
I think we sort of talked about maybe doing some festival stuff, maybe some like Europe festival stuff after that. But again, that all depends on the
Yeah,
state of the world.
COVID. Mm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I guess we have the next several months to kind of figure out what's going to happen, and a way to make it happen.
Yeah, yeah. And so what was it like when you guys first like have you actually met up yet?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
We actually all of us actually got into a room together back in like March or February when we started
Hmm.
practicing for these shows. Um, and it was great. It was fun. We all hung out for a bit, and because Fran lives in Detroit, so he's never really in New York.
Hmm.
But he happened to be here because his parents still live here and stuff. So so we actually, yeah, we were able to hang out and stuff, and it was it was very natural and very cool, and you know, I felt fine about it, and I think so did everybody else.
Was it kind of like going back to a school reunion?
Kind of, I
Seeing
think so.
seeing everyone old again?
Yeah, I think so. You know, when you don't, you know, when you sort of only communicate with people via sort of text or email or something, and then you see them for the first time in many years, you're like, oh wow, you're still the same person. We definitely look a little different. You know, we
Yeah.
definitely have a few more gray hairs and stuff, but uh, you know, but a lot of it does feel like you haven't that no time has passed at all. You know, you
Yeah.
can still
Yeah.
sort of jump right back into the same kind of rapport that you have with people that you've spent so much time with. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Because and it's just like a special thing that you guys made
Right,
together,
right, right. And
So,
it's never stopped. You know, it's
mm,
easy enough to just go right back into the same, you know, the same maybe jokes that you were telling before, the same, you know, whatever, the same way of
yeah.
talking, or you know, something like that. And that's a good thing, and that's another sort of form of nostalgia,
Yeah.
um, in that it's easy to just sort of step right back into it.
Into
Um,
it. Yeah.
without missing a beat.
Yeah.
And that's cool. And I think the point of doing any of these shows or doing any sort of reunion stuff for any band, not just our band, is to try to maintain that sort of freshness. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, but you know, even though it's not very fresh, even though it's old.
Yeah. So
So
when you started playing some of the old tracks, was it like, did you just immediately come back to you, or was it kind of like, oh shit, what, like some bits you needed to go over again?
oh, you
Or
know,
did you just,
I can't remember anything, and a lot of it is sort of a lot of it ends up being sort of instinct. Like I'll ask myself, like, oh, okay, I don't remember this. What would I play though here? And then I end up playing it. I'm like, oh, that's actually the part
yeah,
because
yeah,
that is what I played on it in the first place.
yeah.
So
So do you
luckily,
guys have, do you have it written anywhere, or are you just like, so
no,
can you
just
just
listen
put the
to it a
record on
bunch.
and play along?
Yeah, pretty much. Luckily, our other guitar player, Rob, he's much more sort of studious than I am when it comes to like relearning these things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he'll usually relearn them, and then I'll just ask him what I did. Um, but no, it does. Once it comes back, it does come back, and it's
Yeah.
like I said,
And I guess once
if
you
you're the
play
one
a
who did
few
it in the first
shows,
place. Sorry.
once you play a few shows, it'll start
Oh
to
yeah. No,
sync
by the
right
time we
back.
play the show, we will have rehearsed it plenty. By the time we play a show, I guarantee you, I'll remember the parts.
Yeah,
You know, I can hold it together once I know it. So
that's good. That's good to hear. It'd be cool if someone, like, if there was like a film, like someone films it as well, like
yeah,
one of the
we
first shows
talked
or
about
something,
that also.
so that
Like,
people around the world could see it as
yeah,
well as.
we've talked about that also, especially you know, considering how a lot of bands are doing things right now anyway, considering that there are no live shows.
Yeah,
That's, I believe, sort of becoming a new way of seeing bands.
yeah,
And so that's probably going to be something we're definitely going to seriously talk about for these things.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you know, some sort of live stream thing.
yeah. Because it'd be
Um,
awesome, yeah, to watch like from everyone else around the world. Like like when American Nightmare did the reunion, I flew all the way to LA to watch it.
Right,
And then
right, right,
and then it turned out they did a bazillion more, but that was supposed to be the only one.
right, right. You didn't even have
But
to
yeah,
go.
yeah. But I'm still would never take it back because it was awesome. And I
Yeah,
had a holiday while I was there and stuff. But it was amazing to be able
yeah,
to like be a part
yeah,
of it, and that energy and that amazing feeling. I mean, of like everybody being like insanely overwhelmed with emotion and energy and nostalgia, like all at
yeah.
once. It's a
And
great
definitely
feeling.
for a band like that, who even when they were new had
Yeah,
all that energy, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, I mean, I've never seen a boring American Nightmare show, that's for sure.
yeah. No, yeah. And I think
So
if it ever got boring, I assume that they would not play again.
no, I wouldn't think so. But like,
Yeah,
so you have that, like the bar is set up here already, and then add 20 years onto it. Um, you're absolutely right. It's overwhelming. I'm sure
yeah,
that level of um, of excitement to see that band.
yeah, yeah. And like at the time, I guess you would have been touring with all the names around back then.
Hmm.
Who were some of the people that you were touring with back then?
Back then, well, Poison the Well,
Yep.
uh, American Nightmare,
Yep.
uh, like the Hope Conspiracy.
Oh my God, the Hope Conspiracy. I forgot all about them.
That was
Yep.
they were one of my favorite hardcore bands ever.
They used to tour a lot in Australia.
They were such a good band, um, and I don't really know what they're up to now,
Mm.
if they still are a band or what. But who else? Like I mean, like Kill Switch, we toured with all the time. But for some reason, our band um, was able to do a lot of touring with not just heavy bands, right? So we toured with like
Yeah,
Taking
yeah,
Back Sunday a bunch, um,
yeah,
and like My Chemical Romance,
yeah.
Recover, those types of bands, just
Oh,
as
that would have
easily as
been
would have with anybody else.
that would have been the early My Chem years. Yeah,
Yeah, and
like
and th- yeah, I mean they toured with us several times, sort of before people started to know who they were, and
like
then
the first album. Like when I see live footage of the first album, I'm always like, oh, jealous.
yeah, yeah, and that's sort of like that. We toured with them then, and then we also toured with them uh, once they started to get a little bit bigger. And it was us and Taking Back Sunday and My Chem, and and then all of a sudden My Chemical Romance got huge.
Huge. Yeah,
Um, but like yeah, all those bands like Coheed we toured with a bunch.
yeah,
But then like on the same a month later we would tour with Shadows Fall, or like
yeah,
a
yeah,
legit metal band. So I don't know, you name it, we probably toured with them at some point, because we were
yeah.
just kind of on the road like 11 months out of the year, so
Yeah,
for a
that's
bit.
nuts to me. Like that's such a long time, like for tour, like to be on tours. American bands, like, because I guess because you tour the whole country, and a lot of
Yeah,
times you drive or you have those vans or like whatever,
right,
and
right.
you couldn't tour Australia for 11 months. You know?
There's 7 major cities,
Yeah,
and then whereas in the US you could easily do 25 or 30 cities.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Here,
so
I mean, you
yes.
got probably two weeks maybe.
Yeah, and every time I've ever toured in Australia, we've flown everywhere,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, because we don't
Um,
have. It's too far to drive.
yeah, because you're not going to drive the entire way across the country and not play anything in between.
Yeah, and there's nothing to play in between. So
Right,
it's
that's what
like
I mean. Yeah, like you're going to
you're
spend
gonna
4 days
stop at a
driving
ta
to Perth.
yeah, and then stop at a town that has 10 residents and just
Right, right, right.
play in the dirt.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's 1,000 degrees.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
So
not a thing.
right, right. But yeah, I mean, and back then, like everybody toured like that though. It was just
Mm.
you just did it because what else were you going to do?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
still had that was how you sold records or got people to know who you were.
Mm.
It was social media or anything like that. So
Mhm.
you just sort of had to get out there and play as many shows as you could, and it worked
Yeah,
for
it's
some
kind of
people.
weird thinking back now, like at that time. And yeah, we didn't know because no one had Instagrams or Facebooks or I think maybe some towards the end was MySpace, and that was about it.
Yeah, right. But I don't. That was probably still like
That was
2000s.
right at the very end, sort of,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But like, yeah, you really didn't know unless someone told you about it, or
Or you went to a
you know,
show, or
yeah. And it was that whole thing of, oh, they're wearing some band shirt, and you want to find out who that band is that they're wearing the shirt of, or
yep,
that kind of thing. And it was all by word of mouth, and
yep.
yeah, there was no looking things up, and no Spotify's or iTunes or any of that stuff to look things up and
No,
have a listen before you go and buy it. So you have to go
no, you
browsing
bought it.
and yeah, so you have to go to like the record store and look in that section and just
Yeah,
hope that what you picked up was good. you know?
right. And but the thing is, like, you also generally listen to the whole album then.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
just a song or two,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
which
You
is
have to
cool.
put the album on, listen all the way through. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then you then make the decision. Sorry, yawn,
right.
mini yawn.
But
Um,
people sold records then, so I don't know.
yeah, they still did. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
amazing how it's still going on.
yeah.
But when you were growing up and before you started playing guitar, who are your like guitar heroes
Oh, my guitar
that sort of
heroes are
that sort of
probably
made you
still
go,
the
I
same.
want to play guitar?
Probably still the same ones I have now. Like Eddie Van Halen is always my sort of number one guitar hero.
He's always
Alex
on
Life.
what do you
Sorry.
call it? He's always on a big poster in the music room when you do
Oh,
music at high school.
yeah. Oh,
Like
yeah.
with a guitar from whatever brand it is he uses.
Yeah. He's the greatest, I think. But also like I loved or I still do love like Alex Lifeson from Rush, and
Mhm.
um, I don't know who else. I mean, there's a bunch of like sort of classical guitarists and jazz guitarists that I got into for a long time also. But like those two guys are really my go-tos in terms of like rock guitar, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that hasn't changed really. They're still the ones I listen to.
You're still hanging out listening to Jump.
I definitely will hang out and put on Jump any day of the week. I have absolutely no problem
Yeah,
doing
like everyone. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, yeah, he did have a huge impact on a lot of guitarists. Like I said, when we go into the music room at school, the wall would be covered with guitarists and bass players of
it.
all
Right.
that era, and they'd be posing with the instrument with the brand that sponsors them.
And also the just I think even with a lot of those guys, just the sound of the albums really influenced later production, audio production and stuff.
Yeah,
Because everybody wanted their guitar to sound like Eddie Van Halen's guitar. Not that
yeah,
they could play like him, but to actually have that sort of tone and that quality was it is still a thing. You know.
yeah, yeah. So you never had the kind of dream to bust out a flying V?
You know, I was never a flying V guy. I've never even owned a flying V, and I've owned a lot of different kind of guitars in my life, and I've never had a V. I just find that
I did,
they're uncomfortable to play.
I just find them that they're just like one of those ones where when someone pulls out a V, you're like, oh, they are like ready to
You're,
go.
you're committed for sure. You are committed
Yeah,
if you pull
yeah.
out the V. Uh, they're big. You know, it's funny actually because uh, uh, Ashes, he recently got a V and he started using it. When we started practicing for these shows, and I was like, you know, you can pull it off. I can't. Like, I'll never be able to pull off a V.
To pull off the
But
V. Yeah, you've really got to have a stance and like a, yeah.
yeah,
And you
you
can't
really
pull
have
out a
to own it.
V and then play shit either.
Right. You
It's like
can't.
you go,
You can't doubt the look when you have it. You know, like you
yeah,
just
yeah,
have to do it and own it, and that's that's all it is.
yeah,
Because if you doubt it,
100%.
it's not going to work.
No, no. Everyone's like, what are you doing? But yeah, well,
Yeah.
I love it
Right.
when someone like, especially when like metal bands, when the guy walks out with that V and he's just like, I am fucking ready, and you're just like,
Yeah.
oh
Oh
my
yeah.
God, it's like this power instrument. It's such a
Yeah.
phallic. It is very phallic, I think, the V.
It is.
Like,
You are 100% correct on that. Yeah. There is this very sort of hyper masculine kind of connotation that goes along with the flying V.
yeah,
Um, although I think I have seen like pictures of Lita Ford playing a V.
yeah, she did play V. Yeah, she had a V, but she's fucking fierce. Like, there's a few women
Yeah,
that can pull off the V. There is
she certainly
definitely.
can.
Mm, yeah, 100%. Um,
She definitely could.
yeah, yeah. And so what were you listening to and stuff like that? Like when you were a teenager that got you, like that led, because I think like everyone kind of listens to a whole bunch of different stuff.
Right.
And sometimes it's not related in any way to what they end up playing. Um, it kind of goes along.
Right. Yeah. So for me, like I was always very into like Van Halen and Rush and all those things. Like that was like really sort of early on growing up, and then
Yeah.
I started getting into bands like I mean I was always as everybody you liked Metallica because you had to, and then I got into like
You just
Pantera.
can't fight Metallica. Like,
No, you can't.
they're
It's like a
almost
rule. You just have to
impossible
do
to
it.
like. When a song comes on, it's almost impossible not to react.
Well, and there's a reason why they're one of the biggest bands ever, and
Mm,
that's it. Um, but I did sort of when I started to like a bit sort of heavier stuff. I got into Pantera pretty heavily,
hmm
who I still love, and then from there I started getting into like hardcore bands,
Yeah,
like legit hardcore bands. And a lot of them
yeah,
were just from local, New York, and, Long Island and stuff. Like Vision of Disorder and or Sick of It All, and kind of a lot of these bands that are now kind of classic hardcore bands.
yeah,
You know, um, that sort of turned into through hardcore. I kind of got into and starting to go to hardcore shows and things. I got into kind of more like it's just sort of spread out a little bit into more like sort of emo stuff and Sunny Day Real Estate and the Get
hmm
Up Kids,
yeah.
Jimmy Eat World, and like those bands that were sort of very very much active at that time.
Time, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and then it's just that sort of I'm talking sort of late '90s, and
mm,
then all that sort of kind of came together, when we all started playing in bands together, at least in the local
area, yeah,
scene,
yeah,
if you
yeah,
will. Yeah.
yeah,
And we, a lot of us sort of took different elements from all those bands and tried to put them together in some sort of cohesive way. You know,
Yeah.
for many of us, it wasn't cohesive until 8 years later.
Yeah.
But we
I think,
tried.
oh, I was just gonna say, I think we're gonna